This is Alliant. Is there anybody out there? This is Alliant. Is there anybody out there? This is Alliant International University. I will be brief. A giant company approached the school. They wanted the school to use their testing abilities to figure out which drug was best at reducing problem behavior in adolescents. All right, the logo of the company was bringing principles back to life, and the name of the drug was unpronounceable. It was exomorpholamine or something strange like that, so they just called it the XOM. And they paid the school to do an XOM drug trials. They wanted to check to see if the behavior could be changed by this drug. So they got a lot of volunteers with teenagers that had serious behavior problems, and they had 4 different versions of the drug. And these numbers were the number of times that the bad behavior was suppressed. So they ran a one-way ANOVA on it, and it turned out that this drug, drug B, was best at suppressing bad behavior. So the problem is it also suppressed good behavior. Eventually, anybody that had taken that drug was zombified. They turned into zombies. All they would do is just roam around and eat raw flesh wherever they could find it. Zombies. Gotta hate them. So we changed the name to the Zombie Survival Trials. The zombies just kept coming. And coming. And coming. These came from Hollywood. Hollywood zombies. They're the worst. But here's this study. Here we are, trapped. Our numbers getting smaller and smaller every time we send out groups to forage. Fewer and fewer people coming back. We're not 100% sure that they're dead, but they are not coming back. So we're trying to figure out why. We've broken down into a couple of categories we want to look at. We want to look at the type of weapons people use, the types of tactics that they use when they go out, and whether they go out alone or in teams, right? So either by themselves or not by themselves. So each one of these variables is an independent variable, right? Everybody in the group will have either one type of weapon, another type of weapon. Everybody in this group will have one tactic or different tactic. And this last one is also a categorical IV. We're simply going to make it whether they were alone or not. And the number of missions is the dependent variable. So that makes it a 3-way ANOVA with no repeated measures. The way I always start with these things is we're going to look at the DV. So the number of missions is a regular number, right? It's a counting number where 7 is greater than 3. That's what we call a continuous variable. Also known as a score, scale, ratio, counting. It goes on and on and on. It's just, remember, if a small number means a small amount and a large number means a large amount, call it continuous, okay? So now let's look at the variable for weapons. We broke it down into 3 separate groups. The first group is loud weapons like guns and chainsaws. The second one is quiet weapons like bows and arrows and boomerangs, things that you can throw. And the last group, the last category, were just handheld weapons like baseball bats or spears or something, swords, chop chop. So you'll notice each one of these is a category. There's not really numbers. So this kind of variable is what we call a categorical variable, but most of the books refer to it as a nominal variable. So we're simply going to call it a nominal variable, which is a categorical variable. It puts every person in this group into one of its specific categories. Okay, so this IV is nominal. So the 3 little subgroups here are called levels. 1, 2, 3. So this IV has 3 levels. So moving on to the next IV, it's tactics. So the 3 kind of tactics that we're going to look at are the smash and grab. That's where they just take a pickup truck and go smash into a 7-Eleven and grab as much Fritos and smokes as they can and try to get back. They're loud. It attracts a lot of zombies. We know that already. The second tactic is stealth. They go in like ninjas and they're sneaky, 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 and they try to grab what they get back and come back to us in one piece. The last tactic is what we call hide and seek. They simply find a good, safe place to hide, wait until all the zombies are gone, get the supplies, go back into hiding if they have to, and then come back to us. The hide and seek takes the longest, but we don't know what is going to be the most effective. But this is also a nominal variable, right? Everybody is going to be in one of these 3 groups. So we got 2 IVs, both nominal, both categorical. Our last IV is whether they went alone or not. So again, that's nominal, and it's only got 2 levels. All right, so this is very, very important. In order to run an ANOVA, all of your IVs have to be categorical IVs, and your DV, you can only have 1, and it has to be continuous. So we're good to go. We're going to run an ANOVA. So 3 IVs, different levels on each IV, DV continuous. This is how we would write up the type of ANOVA we're going to do, right? 3 by 3 by 2 ANOVA. 3 means 1 IV with 3 levels, another IV with 3 levels, a third IV with only 2 levels. So we're going to run this is also called a factorial ANOVA with no repeated measures. But I think this is a good place to end the first part 1. So that's it for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, and don't let the zombies get you. MGZ out.